I am a dance god.
And what? A heel? Seriously, a heel on a boot? Since we're here, how about Cow Wars? Bam, 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 bam. All right, maybe not.
And it's named after her because she uses it really quite a lot. And when I say she uses it really quite a lot, I mean she really uses this a lot. She is known for this particular scholar's cradle, so much so that, look, here we've got an advert for her political party. The German there says, Germany's future is in safe hands, a picture of some hands, and that's all they needed to show the German public, to let the public know that they mean Angela Merkel, because she is so known for it. It's become like a trademark for her. So.
And because it's got a bit more mass, it goes a lot further. So now you can play much more fun volleyball or something, because it'll go further and in an unpredictable manner. So unpredictable, I don't think you'll be able to get it in front of the camera. Need a long chain pulling taut? This ought to do it. This is Shakira, who likes to be alone. There was donkey, was that a mule? I'm not sure. There was a pack pony, which had been branded. Yep, not used to seeing that in Britain. Pet the donkey, pet the donkey. And yeah, they had camels, real ones, and they will eat anything. They had two, in fact, and a very heavy looking saddle. Oh, yes. And I'll have another one there. With a trailing tail. There you go. And a big blob of there at the front. The Slug of Doom, that one.
Yes, that's right. Because you don't want them knowing where you are. I know the man. Yeah, right. Yes. Look, I've met the man you're talking about. His name's Trevor. He's fine. I think you should just go and just have a word with him. Really, just go and have a word with him.
You haven't heard of them because they didn't actually see service in World War II, but they might have done if the war had lasted just a little bit longer. My vinegar! Hell? This?
Right, so hang on to your fondue sets, let's watch a bout of Swiss cow wrestling. There's number 51 there, one of the favourites, being held in readiness by one of her team. Elsewhere around the field, the other contenders, mainly I noticed held facing away, are waiting for the signal to start. 65 there, licking her owner. I'm not sure how much he likes it. Everything is all right.
I stand at the front. I can honour every beat with every fibre of my body. I can flick and move my feet with a cool kick slide. With my independent shoulders and perfected body roll, I can dazzle all beholders and achieve my every goal.
Someone has been working this land. And there he is. A man with a hoe.
51 is keen. Let me at 'em, she's saying. This field is mine. Well, she'll have to prove that. Calming hands steady her. The signal is given. That's it. Release the cows! 51 immediately moves to the centre, which is also claimed by 69, and straight away we have a contest there.
Now, if you think of the Scholar's Cradle, you probably think of the Apex Cradle. This is, the archetypal one, which is why it's being used on this design of T-shirt, also quite soon available. But this is not just a commercial for T-shirts. Now, this, yes, it's called the Apex for a reason, partly the shape, but also it's the one perhaps you should be striving for. If you can carry this off in your lecturing career, then well done you. But it's really, and this is the main thing I'm going to say about it, it's really not for beginners. There are many Scholar's Cradles you could pick from, and you don't need to know many at all. If you have 2 or 3 really solid Scholar's Cradles and you can use them really well, that's enough to start with. You don't have to go for the Apex, but a lot of people will say, show me this one, how do you do this one? Okay, right, well, about the shape of it, it's fingertips. It's fingertips. Don't press in, don't use the joints of your fingers, don't, for goodness sake, don't go clasp your hands together. This is praying, and this is an Apex Cradle. So it's just fingertips. There are 2 main ways of doing it. There's the straight-fingered Apex Cradle, and you can also, you can form a constant arch with your fingers curving like this, so you end up with something like a ball. A danger is that people pulse between the two. Don't do this. There are various pulses that I'll be talking about that the various cradles can make use of, but this is bad. If you pulse like this, you've got some weird creature that will distract people. People in the audience will be just looking at this weird pulsing thing, and they won't be listening to what you're saying. And largely the point of the Scholar's Cradle, okay, yes, it may make you look more scholarly, and maybe that's what you want, to win friends and influence people, but actually you are trying to get across information to your audience. You want your audience to be listening at all the important points and to get the meaning of what you're saying. So if you distract them with pulsing like this, that's not doing the job.
The world is still turning. Time progresses, as it should.
However, the class standing behind me isn't quite so lucky, and they paid for this. I see them stumble in the mirrors, see them hesitate and halt. I am their instructor, and I know it's all my fault. My routine was too ambitious. We'll have to lose those triple steps. Oh, but this is getting repetitious. Why can't they get these simple steps?
68 sees an opening here, a rear attack on 51 perhaps. No! A steward sees that and quickly intervenes. 51 mounts a charge now, looking good, and that's it! 69 turns away and it's all over. 1 loss chalked up to 69.
Never mind, he gets another go. Wait a minute, that is quite clear, just a bit of paper or something glued to one side of the arrow, thus forming 2 flights. But to stabilise an arrow in 3-dimensional space, you need a minimum of 3 flights. Honestly. Oh, and look at the way he's holding the bow with that pinch grip in his right hand. Oh, that's painful. Oh, he missed to the left that time.
61 and 60, meanwhile, are sizing each other up. They are in no hurry, but have to be alert for a sudden rush by an opponent, or particularly penetrating stare.
The Apex Cradle has to be established. Think of it like a cathedral. So these are the various fluting columns that come together in the great vault at the roof of the cathedral, and you may know this about cathedrals, they're very big and heavy and don't move much.
Twang,
'50 sees off '63 in decisive fashion. '63 jigs back, trying to save face, but we all saw it. One loss for '63.
Well, sort of, only I don't do television, so I'm continuity.
Well, you might think that, but it turns out that that's not actually true.
So, that's now. Walk, 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 walk. Starting on the left. That's it. Walk, walk. No, left. Left. Other left.
Is 68 trying to duck out of the ring there?
Good evening. I'm here to talk to you today about the problem of balloons.
Why do they put us here on guard again? What do you mean? Well, we're almost completely blind and we're standing in completely the wrong place. Well, there's a point, actually. 60 and 61 are now head-to-head in a very close staring match. Will that settle it, or will it escalate?
Summon me hence, please, internet service provider, this thing on the outer web that I'm interested in.
67 mounts an offensive on 64. A rude taunt from 64 backfired, and 64 absorbs the rush. Good technique there. Tries to turn her opponent, but she gets lifted, loses her grip, and gives up and loses a life. 2 more of those, and she'll be eliminated. Oh, no, wait, she's not giving up yet. Back in there.
One of the many reasons I don't like the Apex Cradle is that it can make you look like a pretentious twonk. You know, if you're sitting there like this as your audience comes in and finds its seats, you better come up with something pretty good, because this is a sort of, hey everyone, I've got an amazing lecture for you and I really know my stuff sort of pose, and you better establish that you are a bit ace in the first minute of your lecture. Otherwise you're going to start to look a bit of a fake if you've started off with an Apex Cradle.
Well done, sir. Well done. Yes, that's right. A lot of wild, barbaric, pagan, dark, fur-clad Vikings.
Vikings!
With long, messy hair.
Oh! Is it gonna... yeah.
62 and 51 head-to-head. 62 pushing, but 51 looking very calm, conserving energy. 63 scoping the field for signs of weakness. 65 tries to look casual, does a bit of grazing, fooling no one.
It's possible that you feel the need for a gelatinous cube.
The results of our experiments were eventually a success, and this is how we were able to establish this thing that I've been talking to you about.
Hello. 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 Just coming through. Good evening. Wait for us.
Now that's a moustache!
Your fingers should be apart. This is one of the 3 basic cages, and I'm going to go straight on to the second one, which is the front cage. So if you just drop this through 90 degrees, you get the front cage. Again, notice my thumb is together and there's space between all my fingers. It's very definitely a cage.
Anyway, as the very distorted music played, it's good to know that they've learned how to distort music with modern technology. These boys gave us a very serious dance. Serious dance, yes. Things jollied up a bit, though, when the girls joined in. There's the proud choreographer there in the foreground. And I thought this bit was a bit Bollywood. Now, what do you think? 64 and 67 still struggling. Quite a dynamic fight there. 51 on 62 meanwhile. 51 looking strong, just walking her opponent back, making it look easy. 62 knows what a feather in her cap it'll be if she can beat the might of 51. She's a game dame, but I feel she'll tire herself out. 50 now sees her arch-rival 51 and tries to muscle in and make it a 2-on-1, but the orange-clad marshals are having none of it. 2 at a time, ladies. Await your turn.
Don't worry, this is saying, you're in safe hands. I know my stuff. I'm scholarly. I've got a corduroy jacket. A lollipop stick. Create my vortex of doom. Hours of fun. I'll let you know how it turns out.
50 looking for a new opponent, but no one wants to take her on just yet.
The Great Courses Plus did actually make a documentary about this. And I thought, oh, brilliant, I'll be able to show you clips from the documentary, but I can't because unfortunately they sold it to a local television company which now owns the rights, so I can't. So unfortunate for us, I suppose, because I can't show you any clips, except that they were able to say, well, we've still got some of the footage that we used in it. By the way, when it was broadcast twice with different titles. The first time it was The Hands That Rocked the Cradles, get it? But the second time, presumably they thought that wasn't very clear, so it was The Hands That Taught the Cradles. What does that mean? I don't know. Neither is a great title, but the Great Courses Plus is completely innocent. It was the television company that came up with those titles. Anyway, so let's just see some of the outtakes to this, whatever it was called.
You know, when you're in the studio, you're burning time, you're burning money, you've got all these people, and when you've got a nervous professor and it goes off the rails and they're just standing there, you're money going down the drain.
Actually, I don't even know if I need glasses.
No, it's good. Glasses are good.
You think so? Okay.
Well, first, the beard. Who can forget the beard? But, and sometimes he comes in and you're a little bit like, whoop. But, when he gets in there, he's the professor whisperer.
Secure your hands.
Okay. Right.
A few minutes and they're making sense, saving us money, doing a great job and getting their piece off. It really, it's revolutionized our production having him here.
Someone challenges you to measure an interval of 9 minutes.
What do you do? Choking a child? No. Gesture. Talk with the hands, talk with the mouth, talk with you.
Great. All right, I think I'm good.
All right, let's reset.
He is definitely a force of nature, if not just in the sheer amount of body hair that he brings to the stage.
I've done this my whole life. I speak with my hands, I gesture with my mouth. And from this, I bring this love of movement, of hands, of body.
Just one. No. Thumbs down. Thumb up, never. No.
We've had, folks who have gone home and completely revolutionized their careers because they didn't realize all this stuff that they were doing was turning people off.
My gestures are now reeled in. They're a little more thoughtful. I have my moments where I completely go off the rails, but then I come back to the things that he taught me. And that's difficult. That's difficult to turn over.
Yeah.
Like
okay,
that.
well then don't. When somebody challenges you.
And this really invites the audience in, which, when I started doing that, especially in my public talks, people started getting my material just, so much faster. It was like a light bulb went off.
You flying plane? No, one hand.
Flying a
one
plane.
hand.
I actually do know how to fly. That's interesting. I think that's why I default
Then
to that.
fly, my friend.
All right. Okay.
All right,
let's
reset, guys. Take it from the top.
I should explain that Dr. Bukowski was not their first gesturist. If you look at the credits that run at the end of their various lectures, you will see, particularly in the older ones, credits to David Steed. Now, David Steed is usually, I think, credited as presentation coach, though sometimes as gesturist. And at least once I found him monikered cradleist. Is that a word? Cradleist? Well, I suppose it is now, but I got a feeling that the Great Courses Plus made that one up. But anyway, so this name that keeps recurring, you may think, who is this chap? Well, he was the earlier advisor who sadly passed away in 2006 to be replaced by Dr. Paul Bukowski.
Can I make this much more simple, short of just standing on the spot? Oh, I meant to give them all a grading. Fred Astaire's, these lot are not. But perhaps I shouldn't panic. Rehearsals have their troughs and peaks. I will laugh about this one day.
To make a balloon much more fun, first, put some air in it.
61 now trying the same dirty trick, but again the Marshal is quick to pounce on that sort of thing.
Why?
Exposition dialogue.
Because he wants you to take a message to the new King Menelaus, younger brother of High King Agamemnon of Mycenae.
High King? Some sort of supreme ruler, is he?
That's right. And now he's talking war against Troy.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because we control access to the silks and spices of Byzantium. What?
Well, there isn't a silk trade yet. That won't be established for centuries, and there isn't a Byzantium either.
Some bloke making a documentary. He's doing what? Quick, look idyllic and pastoral.
If you keep fingertip bouncing all the time, you start distracting people and you start looking shifty.
Yes, it seems they must make that rude noise.
Elsewhere in the field, 50 is looking for an opponent. Lots of jockeying for position here.
Yeah, this is my cage, but I'm not wedded to it.
63 challenges 68, but she pretends she's just seen an old friend and didn't notice the challenge. It's not dignified, but it keeps you in the game. 69 takes on 50, and it's all over very quickly. Another loss by 69. 51 and 62 turning out to be a long battle of attrition.
So have you been working for Silent Not actually, no. I have quite a lot on my plate lately, actually. There's this new system.
Into that balloon, and then you blow it up. Now the tricky bit, the time, which I confess I'm not brilliant at, but here we go. Oh, I did it. Right.
But the show is in 2 weeks!
Very metallic clunk.
A blaze of action now as 61 and 65 settle it with speed. 65 is pushing, can she turn her foe? But no, 61 digs deep and turns it around. 65 looks startled there as she turns and concedes. 61 says, that's the way it's done. 62 and 51 now, both still in it, and for the first time I can see heavy breathing from 51.
You know, this doesn't look relaxed, this is a bit more relaxed, and this is more relaxed again. But if you're holding it up here, it doesn't look so relaxed. As you bring, the higher you bring it up, the more naturally it is to go into a front cage. If you come up to this height and then twist it like this forwards to show that it's a Merkel, I think you don't look relaxed.
I'm not really a focus puller. I have focus pulled on a couple of small productions, so I know I can do it. But principally my skills lie elsewhere. But yeah, okay, I can do it.
And then she's bringing it apart and putting it together and bringing it apart and putting it together over and over again. If you just speed it up, oh my goodness, she's doing that over and over again. And she's coming apart, but to no particular effect, just to go back together again. So this doesn't really have any great rhetorical effect. It's not relaxing for the viewer either. If you just leave it there, again this says it's all right. I know what I'm talking about. Everything's fine. If you keep going apart and bringing it together, you lose that you're in safe hands feeling. So
68 and 63 head to head. Which way will it go? 68 presses and 63 wants none of it. She's off.
You get to kill large numbers of people, and that apparently is what good action is.
The undefeated 50 now tries it on with 67, but 67 uses her footwork to neutralise her rival's play. 61 and 62 they're getting energetic, but neither getting the upper hoof. 51 and 64 locked in a battle of wills. More wills than wits, I feel.
It's down here. Now, I did mention that the apex cage can also be formed with arched fingers. You can also use that for the front cage. Don't use that for the Merkel. Some people trying to copy Angela Merkel have gone for the dropped cage, the Merkel, with the arched rounded fingers, and oh no, Theresa May, you've just got witch hands there. That doesn't look relaxed or natural or good. So there you go. Be warned. Don't do that.
Now, I could start by nitpicking these
Vikings
costumes. That buckle is wrong, those shields look suspect, that armour just looks made up. And we have no reason to believe that Vikings... Thank you. Had hair that wasn't as neat as anyone else's. Ever prepared, Priam has a single word that he needs to speak, and this will summon archers from nowhere who will then test any wooden sculptures in the area for occupants.
Archers!
Bows don't creak! 50's name is Vera. Her hobbies are grazing, lowing and bell ringing. 67 is Babette, and she likes grazing, bell ringing and lowing.
Worry, with this stud, you'll be invulnerable.
You've got your thumbs. You can bring your hands apart like this, straight back together again for very small pulses.
51 and 64 there, wowing the crowd with their stubbornness.
Then, of course, the old folk had to get, noisy and raucous with their break dancing or whatever they call it, banging drums and just generally being loud. The gendarmes there were worried about the trouble. They were there with submachine guns, would you believe it? Anyway, of course, they with their hip hop, is it called, dancing, they had to get very suggestive. And I don't know if I approve of this sort of thing, with their bling scarves. And that guy's got sabres, the guy with the magnificent tash there. And sabres there. And oh, of course, yes, they had to have their rap music.
Hey! Loads better. About there. You can go a little way off to the side, but if you start going a long way off to the side, this is not the one to pick.
Oh, you see we've got nose guards there, so they must be major characters.
Wonderful technique by 67 here. See how she makes 50 carry her weight and do all the work? She immediately counterattacks. Come on, 67! You can do it!
Oh yeah, well you see, filmmaking is a craft.
51 and 64. A study in determination that acts, frankly, as a lesson to us all.
This one does push the fingers together so that the whole of the first joint should be in contact. This isn't fingertips like the apex cradle. This is the first joint. But again, don't go into praying. This is praying to God, and this is being scholarly.
It was really good just out of the camera there. Well, that was a good one.
Another pairing here in its early tentative stages. Will they be friends or go the way of all the others?
No thumbs together.
Hold your shields in front of you, someone! Come on, you're being shot at. I know they're only CGI, but you could pretend, couldn't you?
62 and 67 playing cow chess, which, unlike human chess, is all about intransigence and shoving.
If you drop into a prow with thumbs together, you look as though you're sort of diving into a swimming pool or something. And you want to drop into the prow should have this powerful shape, so if you then want to thrust forward and say, and then we did this and won, or whatever it is you're going to say, then it's much easier from the steep.
Well, the only thing we're missing seems to be a man juggling 3 oranges. Oh no, there he is! Bless him. Oh, only 2 millennia before the orange reaches the Mediterranean.
51 surges ahead and 64 concedes and loses a point. A big violent advance from 50 here, and it must surely be all over for 67. But no! 67 is still in it! Come on, Thunder Child! I mean, 67?
Gesturists, for some reason, call this tension. I know it's actually compression, but they use the word tension. That's just the tradition. So I suppose they're talking about the tenseness of the atmosphere you create when you're talking to your audience. So here you're talking about tense things, and then, phew, everything was all right in the end. So if you want to go from tension to relaxation as part of your narrative style, then the steeple is definitely a good one to pick.
69 being given a nice rest, clearly against her will.
The only thing to remember is that you must splay the fingers. Don't have two sort of shoveled spear-like things like this. Splay the fingers.
62 and 61 trying some neck pressing, giving their foreheads a rest.
Balloon! The poor people in the east of the country and the rich people in the east of the country, as opposed to the poor people and the rich people in the west of the country.
Come on, 67!
After the Industrial Revolution, the poor people from the east of the country, they all migrated to the cities in the west, leaving the rich people in the east just with a few servants and a few farmers, tenants on the land, and that was about it.
Right, so let's see if they've learned anything about this. No, they still haven't. Hold your shields in front of you. You're being felled with lots of arrows. The shield's there for your protection.
61 and 62 getting serious now. They know that victory means a slightly different bell to wear.
Achilles is still wearing that weird bondage gear. You'd think someone would have had a quiet word by now, wouldn't you?
Oh, is he referring to the crowded cities in the west?
This is how you know you're on the Lycian way, this red and white stripe. Though apparently some wags last year painted this in lots of the wrong places.
But oh my goodness, everyone a coconut when they hit. What power they have. Oh, that one actually sort of fell onto him and killed him. Wow, look at that. Knocked off his feet. Incredible power. Who would have guessed it? That guy would have been living now if he just held his sealed shield properly.
All of this is about increasing clarity. So just make sure that it's possible to confuse your audience if you stay in the thumb bind. So don't.
67 under mighty pressure now. She loses her hoofing. She skids. She must be out. No! She hangs on and she's still in it. Dig deep, 67. Dig deep.
Please, please, please.
It's actually more fun on the floor when you're trying to pick the damn thing up because it's just going all over the shop. It's just better in every way. Oh yeah, that happens sometimes.
Elsewhere, a lull. 64 and 69 here, apparently just going through the motions, but who really knows what each is planning?
We applied so many times for the grants for this piece of research, and we went to them for the fifth time and they still said no, and we said, look, we know we mucked up the first 3 applications, we get that, and yeah, we know the 4th was a disaster, but come on, please, we're pretty sure we got it right this time. Can you look again at our application? And then they said yes.
Hooray!
62 making it clear. 61 turns away and gives up the point.
New horizons in science now as we compare the performances of these 2 contrasting balloons. One with the marble and one without. You see this one? Is that exciting? No! You see? Marbles.
62, fresh from her victory against the huge 51, who throws in the towel just like that. Major turn up for the books.
Oh, did we get it? And yay!
That was quite a nice shot there under the ladder.
And so, what have we learned today? Well, we've learned this, this and this. Terrific.
50 and 67 still struggling. This is a titanic struggle. And 62 is on a roll, already has a new opponent.
And who here doesn't feel the same? Oh, interesting.
That's it, Rufus, darling. Really glower, glower. That's it. You hate the Trojans. That's it. Keep it up all the way across the sea. Oh, this is going to look great, Rufus. Yes.
Looks like a bloody loony.
Particularly if the awful conference organisers have given you a chair with no arms on it, so you've got that limits what you can do comfortably.
51 still in it, but only just.
Right. So the next thing is.
Can we have a few more unnecessary burning things in shot, please? What I'm trying to say here is, well, we're a city under siege, we've been at war for 10 years, but we've still got lots of olive oil, so we don't let it get us down. Oh, thank you, that's marvellous. Oh, that's exactly what I wanted. You're all marvels, thank you. And cut. Lunch, everybody.
But do bear in mind that if you have gone into some parallel waving, I should have mentioned this earlier, parallel waving, so here's some examples of parallel waving. It's one of the standard ways of moving your arms when you're a lecturer. So you use a cradle. Cradles are generally two-handed things. You come out of a cradle, it's natural to move both of your hands together.
67, what a heart you have, and so little brain. Perfect combo for this.
You can sometimes use the alternating wave, but it's usually perfectly parallel.
Right, now all your mates are with you, Paris and Hector. Just wait for them to back you up, but no, don't go running off ahead of them. Oh, great. So now you're going to have to fight those few Greeks on your own. Oh, and it's just running actually literally into him. Well, that was daft of you, wasn't it?
Well, the latest, the current gesturist is the term he uses. The current advisor, the current presentation coach is Dr. Paul Bukowski. I say Bukowski, Bukowski presumably is the better pronunciation, but Americans tend to say Bukowski because they're American. Anyway, he is their gesturist. He advises these lecturers on how they can best use their hands to convey meaning, particularly in the context, of course, of a television studio, which they're not all very familiar with, and talking to a camera as opposed to an audience. And I've got some footage, which let's have a look at some of the footage of him in action. They actually have him standing by with some of the more nervous lecturers so that he can just nip in between takes and give advice. Well, here's a little bit of him in action.
Action. Imagine you're going about your day thinking your very practical and familiar thoughts when suddenly someone challenges you to measure an interval of 9 minutes using only a...
Cut. We're going to go ahead and cut there. Stop it down, guys. Can we get the gesturist on set, please?
What is this? What are we doing? We do what we've talked about. The steeple.
Right, the steeple.
No thumb. The steeple.
No thumb.
Front cage.
Front cage. Okay.
The Merkel.
Right.
For real.
All right, let's reset, guys, and give it a try with that.
So you see that he's giving a lot of advice. I was very glad to hear him, by the way, when he says no thumbs on the steeple. So yeah, that's what I tell people.
Steeples. No thumb.
Wherever this place is, a few centuries ago it seems, it must have been seriously rolling in it.
51 is pushing hard and looking as though she's going to force another loss on a foe, and strange time for the cameraman to lose interest.
What is this? Is this fat belly, thin belly, fat belly, thin? What is this? there is some controversy because some people say this is not a scholar's cradle. Some people will say this is like the alternative to a scholar's cradle because it's pretty meaningless. If you gesture with it, what does this mean? There's not a lot you can do with it. You can waggle the thumb, but that doesn't do a lot. It doesn't really add a huge amount of meaning. What is this for? Well, it's to keep your hands out of mischief.
And they show speeds in kilometres per hour.
Put the marshal down! I don't know if there's a penalty for doing that, but 69 doesn't seem to care. She's going straight back into the fray. The marshal looks as though he'll still be feeling that tonight.
And actually, this reminds me of lecterns, because people who are really hopeless at gesturing may be well advised to stand behind a lectern. And I did actually ask the people at the Great Courses Plus, has this happened? And I got a lot of smiles and nods. This has happened. A few of their presenters, they've come in, they've watched what they do and just said, do you know what, just stand behind a lectern. So in case you don't know what a lectern is, this is a lectern.
Right, what you want to do is you want to punch your right hand over and over again and say, hey, hey, all the way through the fight, you know, just like people do.
They're trying to get the ball and they get tense.
68, ready for a new opponent. No! 67 gives up. Oh, all that just to lose a point. Does she have anything left in reserve? I doubt it.
You've got that and that and maybe that and that's it really. So you can see I'm playing pinball, clearly trying to remind yourself of something, and you're still holding on to it, so presumably nothing that you've said so far is this thing. So there's this thing which is going to be really good when he finally gets to it, because it's clearly very important, this thing.
62 gets a biscuit. The rested 68 now against 51. Everything to play for.
The finger prison.
61 and 64 trying to sniff each other intimidatingly.
So we found out these various things. And okay, here we come to the intricacies.
Not easy. 62, another quick biscuit there, quite clearly. The comparatively fresh and rested 68 here, taking on a noticeably larger rival in 51. She seems to fancy her chances. With effort, she is able to bend 51 back and gain ground. This could be another upset. And looks to be an interesting pairing to watch. After a while, we see 51's belly rising and falling as she breathes heavily. And what's this? The terrifying bulk of 50 appears. She's going for 68. 68 panics and flees. Oh! Will that count? 68 was in control there, having picked the right foe at the right time. A steward's inquiry, I think, surely. Now, very unsports cow-like behaviour from 51 here, gloating in cheap victory. That's a terrible thing to see.
There is a sound psychological reason for this. If you go slowly and up in an arc, then the audience can predict exactly when and where you're going to finish this movement.
61 and 64 have escalated to head pressing now. And what's this? 51, not content with what's just happened, is trying to attack 64 from behind. That must be at least a yellow card. Praise to that valiant chap who is having to heave a beast several times his weight away from mischief.
So it was then that we found out about the thing.
Outside this palace, pith-helmeted guards parade and give and take orders in English.
Centering the patrol. Shoulder, arms.
64 seems oblivious to what just nearly happened, although I don't know how she'd signal otherwise. Another lull here. Pretending to graze isn't going to work. 51 here, her luck still holding, making it through on luck, cheating and belligerence.
You can say we nearly got everything we wanted, but then we didn't.
They used to use the pound and then the lira as currency, but now they have decided to use the yuan instead.
67 here, showing that she's still got something to give. Can she get the victory she so deserves? These seem well matched, each carefully shadowing the moves of the other. The two favourites have finally met, 50 and 51. Yes! 50 gets the loss she so deserves.
Men in smart British uniforms fire a noonday salute every day.
You're just talking about something that's reasonably complicated, and that's reasonable. After all, they're perhaps paying you money to say this to them, so, give them their money's worth and give them a good front interlace.
When I move, the sound of me isn't there. Am I dead?
They drive on the right side of the road.
Poor 67, she picks the stubbornest of opponents.
They've seen a thing, and good Lord, they're amazed by the thing and a little bit horrified, maybe even frightened by the thing, and...
The defeated 51 offered a cigarette, but refuses, rather petulantly.
Everyone knows that there's all this detail here, but you're keeping your cards to your chest, you're playing poker, but everyone wants to know what your hand is.
I am a dance god.
And I've even seen someone sort of wriggle his fingers like worms. I've heard this actually referred to as opening the can of worms.
There are pillar boxes painted pillar box red.
We did this experiment, we did that experiment, and then on the third occasion it worked, and we found out so much stuff that we were not hoping for.
In the square there is a statue of Queen Victoria, complete with a pigeon on her head. Look, no, don't parry it, Manus. Just watch it go past and hit him in the arm. Just don't parry. He's missing you. He's missing you.
And we discovered so much. There was so much life in this region. Fabulous, bejeweled, scuttling crabs and amazing, elegant gazelle-like creatures with silken coats and dewy Bambi eyes, frolicking about the place. And it was wonderful.
Why are we wearing Roman costumes? Shh. The shops of the modern British High Street are here, as well as shops with a feeling of a British yesteryear about them.
Or maybe,
Oh, Rufus, you didn't poison it, did you?
Well, we did so many experiments, but I honestly don't know what went wrong. We tried so many times, and
hours of fun.
Oh, is it Gibraltar?
Oh, very good guess. Excellent guess. Wrong, but I can see why. But no. The local economy relies a fair bit on tourism.
My cards are on the table. Look, I'm not hiding anything from you. Here's everything. It's in view.
Rubbish! Wait! Way better.
I don't know what went wrong. I'm showing you everything you can.
Don't throw it down, throw it back at him. It speaks of amazing wealth.
You know, this is what I got here.
Don't take your helmet off now, you're fighting a duel! The streets are lined with limestone houses and look like this. I don't mean that just one or two of them, you know, the photogenic ones that end up in all the brochures are like this. No, I mean that they are all like this.
Imagine you've got threads in a loom, and they're weaving at right angles to threads going that way, so you've got roughly right angles there. So you can get to it from the interlace, and you just turn them. And in one textbook I saw this referred to as the plate. I was originally introduced to this as the warp and weft, actually, but again, it's a weaving reference. So loom is the current most popular and short name for it.
Stab him, you're clearly within reach. Why didn't you just stab him there? Oh, good glowering, Rufus.
Found out this, and it was wonderful. And don't you think it's a wonderful thing?
I'll just hold up my right hand and, oh, it's all right, I've got an easy snap wrist, and, oh, there we go.
You people over here. Oh, he's coming over to us, and oh, he's showing us a thing. It's only the inside of your hands, nothing actually to see there.
I'll just hold my left hand out like this, that's it, one more, and stab. Oh, well done, sir.
It's a bit sunny for Britain, though, isn't it?
Don't go offline with the six gun, off centre line, I mean, because as soon as you start doing this business, you look as though you're in a Charlie's Angels poster, or you think you're James Bond or something.
That's all they do. That's all they do.
This is what we found out. We really did.
You have felt bad in the past, and then what happened? After a bit, you felt better again. This time is no exception.
I'll just stand here and wait and... Oh, there we go. Much obliged.
So what will you do?
Right. All you've got to do is guess where I am. That's right. I'm in...
I'm not going to say the thing. I'm not going to say this fantastically good thing. I'm going to give him his chance. I'm a civilized debater. I'm going to let him say his thing, but...
Oh, good writhing.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid the ordinary balloon just doesn't give me the performance that my lifestyle demands.
If you just go to here.
Right! I warned you! I warned you many, many times! If you ever do this to me again, what do I say? I'd make you bloody regret it! And you are! Right? Prepare for Armageddon!
You are in a beautiful world with beautiful people in it and astounding opportunities.
Yes, it's because they're all made out of jelly.
And in the fullness of time, you will look back upon this moment and perhaps laugh, because you will realize that you live in a wonderful world. It has great stuff in it, like trees and milk. Yes, you will realize that this is a beautiful world, it's a beautiful life, and everything is all right.
But what's the question? It's because none of them was made of jelly.
Balloons with marbles! A cauldron, they're really expensive. One of the most expensive, if not the most expensive things a household would own would be a cauldron.
So if you're pinballing...
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can have more fun with balloons from now on, thanks to this simple technique. I thank you.
67 battled it out with 62 for nearly 8 minutes. By the end of it, her tongue was hanging out with the effort, and she was panting away, and, well, eventually she gave up. But she must get the prize for the most valiant loser.
Stuff this. I'm going home.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is stupendously expert and just brilliant in all sorts of ways. So please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to the stage to this guy.
Now this eagle-eyed boy, will he spot the thing? He's looking for it. Oh, I think he's seen it. Yep, just 5 paces in front of him is a... what do you think it's going to be? A 60-foot tall wooden horse. Well, I say wooden. It's clad in bronze, and not just a small amount of bronze. Oh no, that's a huge amount of bronze. Look how thick the slabs are. There's a bit round the front there. I don't know if a foundry existed at that time capable of making a single piece of bronze that big. I now know why the Trojans brought in the wooden horse. It's because, well, there was enough bronze on it to pay for the war. That's a fortune in bronze there.
Don't cripple your speakers in this way. Don't disable them. You give them a throat mic, a lapel mic, or one of those ones that's on a stalk from their ear, or something like that. If you've got a really good speaker, don't cripple him by putting one of these in his hand.
Video cameramen don't have to frame the shot.
Oh, I really don't want to take that. Click, click, click. I'm going to have to take that microphone.
He didn't have a Viking...
Vikings!
That's enough. Army. 67 is led out, leaving the flagrantly evil 51 in as one of the victors.
Olive groves.
The way it looked and go, oh, if only we were working in film. That would be lit for film. You'd get these wonderful shadows and film, but in video it would look really terrible.
There weren't any Vikings!
Vikings!
I have created a monster. In this period, 62's biscuit pusher signals something arcane.
Now what do I do? I can't... What? What? I mean, you can't... Apex... Now that's out. The steep... You could do a beseech perhaps, but then you're like this. It looks like you're a pop singer singing a sad ballad.
Oh, God.
I can hear the people downstairs singing to their baby.
So, yes, so don't do that, but...
Grass. What shall I eat today? I'm thinking grass. Now, can you imagine how boring a sheep would be? Nah, I don't eat grass. Ugh. Can you imagine inviting them round to your place? Nah, I don't eat grass. God, that'd be so annoying, wouldn't it?
I am fire! I am the ultimate energy! I am heat! I am light! I am movement! I am unstoppable!
worry. Don't worry. I'm still on mission here. Yes, I appear to be digressing here, but when I will be coming back, and everything's fine. I'm still talking ultimately to the purpose of this journey I'm taking you on.
Vikings.
Vikings. What? What is it? Oh, sorry. Was that me? Who's this one then? It's some bloke. What does he want? Dunno. Quick, round the side. Okay, everyone.
51 goes to the centre. She wants to do some more, still up for it, but her team comes to harness her back up. Does she know she's a winner? Who can say?
Don't interrupt. I'm getting to my point, but I'm just not quite there yet. But I'll get there very soon. Yes, this is my point.
Ah, the bell on head distraction technique. It's an old trick, but it can work. I want to live in that chalet there. But only if it's got good internet. And if they don't charge extra for delivering pizza. I don't want to live there.
Chloe! Chloe!
Oh, what is it? No.
Are you left my fire burning in room 14 again?
Room 14? Which one's room 14?
You know it! That's the one with all the treasure lying on the ground!
All right, that one's 14, is it? No, I haven't been in there all week.
Well, go and have a look at it now, because it certainly seems pretty warm up here!
All right, then. Honestly, that woman. Be the death of me, she will. Have to say it. I've seen it before. Oh no! Oh no! Oh!
What's this? An invasion by the paratroopers of the American Humane Association? No, I don't think so. I'm someone who takes safety pretty seriously, so if they say wear gloves... 50 was the biggest winner and the biggest cow. I think these facts are related.
Ah, McDougal. I see you're guarding the thing that goes round and round. Yes, sir. Good. Good Lord, man, don't you know your base is showing? Sorry, sir. Yeah, well, see me afterwards about that. And... Good Lord! What on earth is that? Oh no, it's the slug monster of doom! Oh, what can I do? Oh, it's got me! Oh. It ran over my fingers.
Zombie flesh.
Okay, we're in position. Where are the sentries? I don't know. Why aren't they at the top of the slope? I don't know. Okay, right, 10,000 arrows. It's amazing that the sentries didn't notice 10,000 people carrying fire. I know, brilliant, isn't it? Is this really the most efficient way we can think of for setting fire to these ball things? Yeah, I think it's a really good plan, actually. But wouldn't the arrows landing in the sand just, get snuffed out? Yeah, you'd think that, wouldn't you? Yeah, apparently.
Sarge, I'm frightened!
Oh, here they come.
Steady, lads. Steady. It's all right. They haven't developed petrochemical industries, so we're completely safe. Don't worry, lads. When those great big bales of hay roll over those little flames, they'll just snuff them out. Oh no! Oh,
Blinking flip!
Oh
no! Petrochemical industries! Oh, those bloody Georgians!
It's all right, they won't come through the fence. They can't possibly come through the fence. It's a well-made fence.
I shall stand being narrowly missed by the fires.
How did he get through the fence?
Oh, that one's exploded!
Get through the fence! Why did we build the fence at the bottom of the slope? That was so stupid!
Bounce over the wall.
What about the wall? Defensive wall? Oh yes, we built that at the bottom of the slope as well! Brilliant! Oh no, I just finished painting that house in turpentine and jumping over the wall! I don't believe it!
Oh no! That one as well!
Whoa, I'm so
get the
flammable!
gunpowder store. We mustn't get the gunpowder store.
We won't get the gunpowder store. Oh, why have we got a gunpowder store? We don't have guns! Oh, no!
John, King of England. Oh, hello. No. No, I'm afraid I'm a bit busy right now. Yes. I'm at Rochester. The siege, yeah. Well, not very well, actually. No. No. Sorry, did you say pigs? Uh-huh. Well, how will that work? Uh-huh. Are you sure?
Ah, the bell on head distraction technique. It's an old trick, but it can work.
I don't know why I like being a guard so much. I think it's because after all the hurly-burly of my earlier life, doing this, I've really got time to think about things, I do a lot of thinking, standing on guard. And I've come to see that I've really got to change my life. Yeah. I've got to look at things differently. I've been getting it all wrong, you see. And, what's going? What? Oh! No, God! No! Ah! Oh! Ah!
Show me how them titties fart.